Yo, hey, hi. So, you're thinking about getting into physical media. You screwed up. And now you're about to invest in a product that's as dated as this meme. Maybe you read some articles and watched some YouTube videos talking about the resurgence of physical media. Or you're just tired of paying a subscription fee, even though all you watch is that same mid-2000s sitcom. But like, who even knows how long that show is going to be on that streaming service before it's transferred to another one or just deleted permanently? So you're willing to disappoint your family and risk financial ruin just to get into 4K Blu-ray.
But obviously, the real question is, what 4K Blu-ray player should I get?
Well, don't worry, because I have 3 of the most popular budget 4K Blu-ray players here to help you decide what's best for you. So, let's get into it. Let's start off with the PS5, and here's the best part of that. You might already have it, and that's not something to be discounted. And although there's a lot of folks on the internet that will tell you that you need a 4K Blu-ray player, like a dedicated one, to get the absolute max out of your discs, well, they're not wrong. But also, I don't think you need it if you're just dipping your toes into the 4K Blu-ray world. I think the more important thing is to get a player and to start seeing what you like. Because if you like the image of the DVD, then that's where you should put your money. If you like the image of the Blu-ray, if you don't have a 4K TV or an HDR TV, and so you're not interested in getting the 4K UHD Blu-rays, that's totally up to you and your situation. So if you love Blu-rays, well, I mean, all you need is a disc player. And the PS5 is that. And it does a decent job at it. I would give it an 80% of what these other disc players do, the PS5 does. It's limited only in the most niche of ways. Another great benefit of the PlayStation 5 is that it diffuses your investment. So it's $450, which is on the upper end of a disc player, but you also get to play Helldivers 2. So PS5, how does it do? It does the job. So if you don't have a PlayStation 5, what I'd suggest is the Sony X700. I know it's UBP X700, but that's a mouthful. So I'm going with Sony X700. Totally the same day. This absolutely isn't the next day. Now, this is a budget player. 100% it is made out of plastic that seems like it's actively deteriorating as you handle it for the first time. But I will say, like, the image and the audio are amazing. And honestly, other than the build quality, it is the perfect player for you if you do not have a Blu-ray player yet. So here's the thing. Obviously, if you're getting into physical media for the first time, there's a range of what you can start collecting, right? You have the DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K Blu-ray. And each one of those has a different price point attached to it, with DVD being the cheapest. But here's what I want to, petition to you. Here's what I want to say about collecting physical media and why I think even if all you're doing is going after the DVDs, why I think you should get this Sony is because it's going to play every single disc. If you buy a DVD player, that's only a DVD player. Now you have to upgrade to a Blu-ray player if you want to get into Blu-rays. Then, if you wanted to get into 4Ks, now you have to upgrade to the 4K. On that point, if you're watching DVDs, you're going to be watching it most likely on a 4K TV. And a DVD in 4K looks la poo-poo. It looks so bad, unless you have a decent upscaler. And that's one of the niche issues that the PS5 has. Its upscaling of DVDs is rough. Honestly, it looks like a DVD was taken, a 480p signal, and just thrown against the wall of a 4K TV. But the Sony X700, its upscaling is markedly better. It doesn't take you out of the movie. And that upscaling applies to Blu-rays too. So if you have a 1080p signal, it will upscale it to 4K. And it looks really good. So there's 3 main flavors of HDR. You have Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and HDR. HDR is a big subject, and I can't dive into it in just this video. Let's just say Dolby Vision, top tier. HDR10+, just a little under it. In HDR, yeah, there's a big difference between HDR and Dolby Vision. The Sony X700 lets you do Dolby Vision, and the PS5 only does traditional HDR. And you're going to see a big difference between those. One of the knocks of the Sony X700 is that every single movie you put in, you have to manually turn on Dolby Vision or turn off. Is that the worst thing in the world? No, not at all. Is it annoying? Yes, absolutely is annoying. But, you know, you can live with it. But I will say that is one of the biggest upgrades that you'll get from moving from the PS5 to the X700. The upscaling, the Dolby Vision, and you get 2 HDMI outs. Why 2? That seems ridiculous, and I get it. But here's why you get 2. One is dedicated to video and audio. The second is dedicated to audio only. Joe, that seems like a very specific use case, but it's more applicable than you would imagine. Because let's say you take video and audio and you put that into your TV, and you're using ARC or eARC and taking another HDMI and putting that into your AV system or your soundbar to get Dolby Atmos or to get DTS, DTSX, something like that, right? Well, depending on what TV you have, that ARC or eARC HDMI out will not pass through the full fat signal. But it says it will, and that's the whole point of ARC. Well, for some reason, it's not. I'm a little worked up on this because my LG C1 does not pass through DTS. Any flavor of DTS, it doesn't pass through. I don't know why. You're gonna have to look at your TV, and that becomes annoying and complicated. The alternative, though, is that you can use that HDMI audio only out and feed it directly into your system, AV or soundbar. And that's exactly what I have. I take the video straight to the TV, then my audio runs to my Samsung soundbar. Yeehaw! That sounds great, Joe. What more could I want? Well, let's talk about that with the Panasonic UB820. Now, the Panasonic UB820, what is its benefit? Well, for one, it's $200 more expensive, and that means it's $200 better. Now, the UB820 is certainly targeted towards enthusiasts. It has a much more robust build quality than the Sony X700, and it has analog outs, and it has a second HDMI out, and a great internal DAC. I am not the biggest audiophile, but I was hearing things I've never heard before within the mix, to a point where I was like, oh, what is this? And you can really get granular with the settings to make sure your image looks the best it possibly can on your television. The cost is not just in build quality. The cost is also in the internals inside. Now, I mentioned upscaling with the Sony X700. The upscaling on a UB820, I don't know what magic the UB820 did to make a DVD look that good, but they did it. It looks stunning. So if you do have a lot of DVDs already or Blu-rays, the UB820, in addition to a lot of other features like analog outs, in addition to more granular control with Dolby Vision, its upscaling is amazing. It's going to make you rewatch your DVDs going like, oh, yeah, these look great. Why did we ever need an upgrade? Now, one of the big cons of both the Sony X700 and the UB820 is that the streaming apps are absolutely terrible. Don't use them. You don't need to. Use an Apple TV or a dongle or your TV's built-in apps. It'll just be a better experience for everyone involved. They're just, oof. I feel like if you're all in on 4K UHD Blu-rays, the Panasonic UB820 is the device I would recommend you invest in, because it's a kind of a one and done sort of situation. There's really not much more of an upgrade path other than ultra expensive luxury devices. So it really is a step up, but it's a very nuanced step. Here's what I would say. If you have the PS5, keep it, you're golden. If you have an Xbox, keep it, you're fine. If money is a concern, go with the Sony X700. It's going to get you there. But if money is not a concern, or if quality trumps budget, go with a UB820. It's like the PS5 is like an A-. The Sony X700 is an A, and the UB820 is A+. And going up from there is, well, that's your own kink at that point. So, in conclusion, subscribe. Bye.